Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Atirah binti Muhammad Zubir. My metric number is 046917. So today I'm going to answer two questions related to international migration and refugee law. So without further ado, let's start it. Question number 1. Analyze the obligation and challenge of the government to protect the rights of internally displaced person, IDP. IDP can be defined as the person or groups of people that have been forced to flee or leave their home but have not crossed an international state border because of few reasons such as armed conflict, situation of generalized violence, violation of human rights, or because of natural or human-made disaster. Basically, the obligation and challenge of the government to protect the rights of internally displaced persons can be seen in 5 different principles. The first principle, or the principle 1, IDP shall enjoy in full equality the same rights and freedom under international domestic law as do other persons in their country. Second, principle 6, human beings shall have the rights to be protected against being arbitrarily displaced from his or her home or place of habitual residence. Third, under the principle 10, human being has the inherent right to live and no one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his or her life. Fourth, under the principle 15, IDP have right to either seek safety in another part of the country, right to leave their country, right to seek asylum in another country, and right to be protected against forcible returns or resettlement in any place where their life, safety, liberty, or health would be at risk. And lastly, principle 18, IDP have the right to an adequate standard of living, such as essential food and potable water, basic shelter and housing, appropriate clothing, essential medical service and sanitation. So basically, the obligation and the responsibility of the government to protect the right of IDP can be seen in the government action fulfill those 5 principles. In my opinion, there are few actions or solutions that can be taken to ensure the issue of the IDP are not protracted. To conclude, every problem have their own solution. It is up to us to find the suitable or potential solution. As for final words, there are no international conventions specialized in IDP. Thus, it is the responsibility of the government to ensure that the rights of the IDP is well protected. So, question number 2. Compare the right for migrant workers and refugees. Migrant workers can be defined as a person that migrates or moves to another country or area in order to find employment or to pursue work. While refugee is someone who is unable or unwilling to return to their country of origin owing to well-founded fear of being persecuted for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or political opinion. The difference between migrant workers and refugees can be seen in 3 main points. First, the intention to leave the country, the law enforcement, and the principle of non-refoulement. As for the intention to leave the country, migrant workers leave the country because of pursuing work, while refugees leaving the country because of fear of being persecuted. The law enforcement for migrant workers are the International Convention on the Protection of All Rights of All Migrant Workers and members of their family, while for refugees, the law enforcement are the Convention and Protocol relating to the status of refugee law. Next, the principle of non-refoulement. The principle of non-refoulement not apply for the migrant worker, but the principle of non-refoulement apply for the refugees. As for the similarities between migrant workers and refugees' rights, it can be seen in 5 different rights. First, right for non-discrimination. Second, right for education. Third, right to have liberty or freedom in movement. Fourth, the right related to expulsion. And lastly, the similarities also can be seen under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Basically, those are my answer for the question. So that's all from me. Thank you.